I am Roger. I cook on the internet and tell dick jokes for money. That is Veronica Franco. She lived in Italy in the 1500s. She wrote poetry and touched dicks for money. Spaghetti alla Puttanesca. It's fun to say, right? Puttanesca! But what does it mean? Well, spaghetti alla Puttanesca translates into spaghetti of the whore, which is kind of interesting, right? I mean, two things you gotta love is spaghetti and whores. But where does it come from? Well, there's kind of a blended history. There are different versions as to why. Some say because all of the ingredients are essentially pre-prepared. They're canned and jarred. Some say that this was made because it is very aromatic. It smells really enticing and good, and perhaps that the prostitutes in Italy cooked this to entice customers in. That's a good thought. Another one is that it's quick to prepare, so you have a quick meal in between clients. That's possible too. No matter what story you believe, the bottom line to it is it's absolutely delicious. We're going to make it now, so let's get it done.
First thing we're going to do is prepare our pasta water, and by doing that we're going to take about a 5-quart pot, put about 4 quarts of water in it, and we're going to heavily salt it. You want the salinity to match that of the sea. So once you got your salt in, we're going to put a cover on it, crank it up to high, and let it boil. Now we're going to take care of our mise en place. Mise en place meaning everything in place. I'll explain that in a minute, but we have 1.5 cups of cherry tomatoes. We're going to quarter those up. Make sure you get good quality cherry tomatoes. Mise en place means everything in place, and what that means is all of your ingredients you measure out, put into bowls or dishes. You'll see me use those little ramekins, the little glass bowls. I have everything measured out this way. I'm not searching for things as I need them. Everything's measured, it's right there, it's in order that I need to add it, and I just boom, boom, right, put it in. So now we have our tomatoes all quartered up. We're going to put those off to the side, and now we're going to address our anchovies. Do not be afraid of anchovies. They're ugly, they're scary, don't be afraid of them, all right? They add so much flavor to this dish. They don't taste fishy in this dish, and the pieces almost dissolve in the pan. So don't worry, don't be scared. Use the anchovies. They are delicious. Umami, right there, that's what that is. It's umami. And you need umami, and you need your mommy, so call your mommy. We'll put those off to the side. Now that our water is boiling, we're going to add our pasta. Use a fork or some tongs to get them in there because sometimes they just don't fit. Make sure you stir it up good. You don't want those sticking together. There we go. Everything's submerged. We'll stir that occasionally as it cooks. You're going to cook your pasta, by the way, for just under the al dente time on the package. So that package says 9 minutes. We're going to cook it for 8. In our medium to large skillet, 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, cranked to medium to medium high heat. And then we're going to add our 1 tablespoon of garlic that has been run through a press. If you don't have a press, you can mince it fine. We'll let that cook for about a minute and then add our anchovies. We're going to let those cook for a minute or two. Spread them out. Make sure everything's got oil. You can regulate the heat of this. You don't want the heat up too high or otherwise the garlic is going to burn. So if it gets too sizzly, turn it down. Now we're going to add our 1 heaping tablespoon of capers. These are the non-Perel ones, the really small capers. You can use bigger ones, up to you. I like the small ones. Personal preference. Get the best you can find and afford, though. Now, that's about 1/2 cup of kalamata olives that have been pitted. They come pitted. I like to crush them. You may have to do it in 2 batches. I have hands like baseball gloves, so I can fit all of them in there. Just give them a crush as you put them in. That's fine. And wash your hands real quick. I'm going to spread that out, and again, we're going to let that cook for a minute or two. Let the oil get infused with that delicious olive flavor. And then we're going to add our tomatoes. Put them in. Now, really pay attention to the heat now. You don't want it up too high because you don't want these tomatoes to wither into nothing. You want a little bit of tomato consistency. So turn the heat down a little bit if you need to. You just want the oil to be just barely at a sizzle. And that looks beautiful. The smell coming off of this is amazing. Now our pasta is done. We're going to go right from the pot, right into the pan. And we're going to add about a ladle full, which is about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of the pasta water. And we're going to simmer it. We're going to toss it. We're going to let the pasta get coated in all of that deliciousness. And then we're just going to simmer this till some of the water starts to evaporate. Make sure the pan stays moist. You don't want it to dry out or things will burn. So a little bit of water left in there is fine. Toss it. Make sure everything's combined and coated, because it is delicious and you don't want to lose any of that. So now that it's simmered down, we can plate it up. Try not to make too much of a mess like I did. I was trying to get all fancy with a little twist on it and ended up splattering all over the place. That's fine. This recipe, by the way, makes 2 servings or 1 serving and then a second helping. And then you put your tomatoes and olives and capers on top, because they all don't come out when you tong it. And there you go. That one just wants to slide down. He's having fun. And then put some lawn clippings on top just for decoration. That's actually parsley. So pretty. So delicious.
Now, I got to be honest with you. I mean, look at that. That's a pretty plate. Oh, look, hang on. That's Puttanesca on our Puttanesca. It's terrible. But when I first heard of this dish, I was kind of scared of it because anchovies. I don't like hairy fish. It's just not my thing. I don't like it on pizza. I think it's disgusting. But I tried this in a restaurant, actually not even knowing that it had anchovy in it. And let me tell you, I was blown away. And then I found out that it had anchovy in it. And I went for it. I'm trying to spike some spaghetti and get everything on a bite. There we go. Got an olive, tomato. Oh, that is good. Wow. That salty vinegar pop. Hang on, I'm being a slob. That salty vinegar pop of the olives and the capers and the tomatoes and that incredible umami that you get from the anchovies. It almost makes this, I mean, damn near irresistible. Maybe that's why it's called pasta alla puttanesca. I don't know. I'd pay $20 and holla. There's another fantastic recipe. You can make this on a weeknight when you have things going on. It really comes together quick. The amount of time it takes you to cook the sauce is the amount of time it takes you to cook the pasta. And there's really not much prep work. Remember, mise en place is very important for things to happen fast. So check this recipe out. If you really liked it, drop it down in the comments. If you really hate me, drop that down in the comments. But don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. I would really appreciate that. It'll help me make more mediocre content for you. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next one.